Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today.
It's the world's fastest half-mile oval and some of the steepest banking you'll ever see at a stock car event. And here tonight from the last great Coliseum, we're live for week number 8 of the Chapman Cup Series, live on V-Speed. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, and here tonight we have the Hinkle Holmes 250. Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the broadcast booth with you all season long. We've been covering this event, and Chapman Cup Series hasn't disappointed thus far. We're coming to the short track style. We haven't seen a lot of that here yet, Alec, and I gotta say, this is gonna probably throw me off a little bit here, but I have an Alex Gagnon in the booth with me normally. Tonight we have Alec Martinez, so I'll try not to butcher that too much.
Well, I appreciate that, Bradley. Good to be back with you in the booth, and good to be broadcasting this series here. For the Chapman Cup Series, had some really good races, and you saw some of the stats. Travis Gilbert won last week at Darlington. Good field size today, 34 cars. That's a lot of cars. Going to have to really deal with lap traffic, something you don't really hear about a lot in iRacing is lap traffic. So going to be fun to deal with, and I'm looking forward to it.
Taking a quick look at the points, it's a win and you're in. The playoff style format that NASCAR runs, and the counterpart of the Cup Series. These guys follow up every single Sunday with a Wednesday night race. Just this past Sunday, we saw Kyle Larson have a dominant performance. No surprise there, but who's going to dominate here tonight in the Chapman Cup Series? Jeremy Burns, he's had 2 weeks now, 2 wins. And then you've got some other drivers that are outside of this top 20 that do have wins. The 22, of course, 21st in the points, just outside of this, but he will be included in those playoffs. He will have that win. He has to maintain a top 25 overall in the points, though, to be guaranteed that slot. And then, of course, you have Alex Forget with 2 wins, Nick Alves with that other win. It's been a tight list, of a limited list of drivers that have been able to get to victory lane.
It has, and I think today it's another thing. There's a lot of guys starting up at the front that have not won a race this year, and we're only 8 races in, but you're gonna have to. The playoffs, they can be very quick and force guys to get in a win here and very quick, especially be in that top 25. So we're gonna have to see who's able. If one of these guys can punch their ticket into the playoffs.
Quick look here at Bristol Motor Speedway, opened July 30th, 1960, and it has had some reconfigurations over the years, but this concrete steep banked oval of 30 degrees in the turns, half a mile, just over half mile, 4-corner conventional oval. It's been paved with dirt at some point during its configurations, and I'm glad to see it back to its concrete self. It's going to put on a good show, but a very abrasive surface. It will chew up the tires. And of course, we have 2 pit roads, front and back stretch. So that's another factor to think about here tonight. As we look at our race analysis, 250 laps, 5 tire sets available, 35-mile-per-hour pit road speed limit. Very difficult pit road to get on and off of. Stage at lap 62 with 2 green-white checkers, and of course on that iRacing fixed setup. But with that, it's time to get your Coastal Financial Pole Award. Starting on the top spot here today, it's going to be Dakota Floyd, and congratulations to him on that Coastal Financial Pole Award. Our mission at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals with the aim of empowering our clients to make financial informed decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial. Through the rest of your grid, starting to the outside, will be Carter Lenz in that front row, Tyler Harrison and Dylan Picklesheimer for 3rd and 4th. 5th spot, Rob Rader, Trevor Erhardt in 6th. 7th, Jeremy Burns, Michael Reed will start in 8th. And rounding out your top 10, Matt Robinson, Justice Murphy in the 12th.
Hey, last week's winner, Travis Gilbert, going to roll off 11th, and then it's John Fike in 12th. 13th, Trevor Keith with Daniel Holloway in 14th. Alex Forget, Berube will roll off in 15th with Grant Turner, and it was outside at 16th. 17th is Caleb Gilbert in the 54 with Justin Ritchie in the 55. He is outside in 18th, and Brandon Richardson is going to roll off 9th with Chris Nail in rounding out the top 20.
Grant Thorpe, Michael Bennett for the next row, Jackson McGeorge, Kyle Stewart. Then you have Al Likens, Michael Call. Still a lot of cars, 10 plus almost to talk about. Nick Alves, Kevin Orlando Jr., but we're getting ready to go green flag racing for week number 8. The Chapman Cup Series is live in racing at the last Great Coliseum. We thunder around this place to get lap number 1, and Dakota Floyd with the lap lead from the top. Goes to the outside, holds on to the lead, and he's wall riding here through 3 and 4. We got trouble in the back.
Yeah, a little bit of trouble in the back. A lot of cars on this racetrack, so a lot of action all over. These drivers kind of going to be all over this racetrack, and like you said, we saw it on Sunday the way Kyle Larson dominated. Clean air is going to be big, but saving tires is also going to be really big, and you can see this gaggle of race cars all here. There's about 10, 15 cars stacked up one another, and this is where the leaders can gain so much time in clean air. These guys are going to be fighting for their lap back, or fighting to their lap. Is there trouble in a 3? Contact there.
That's a 19, I believe, of Berube.
Yeah. Berube's around. I think there's one more car that got caught up with him. Corey Cook going down on the bottom, 26. Diaz going to miss him. I want to say it might have been the 23. Schaefer got a piece of that. He's got a big old punch in the nose. But looked like maybe a green and white car, or maybe Chris Nail also involved. I see some right front and left front damage to the 88.
Let's go back here on our V Speed Instant Replay, and there's, it was Chris Nail on the outside. They just got a little bit too connected there. Piece of it there for the 10. So Kyle Stewart picks up a little damage. I think Morgan Cook might have a front row seat to this.
He definitely did. He sure did. I think there's one car just missed it up in that yellow and blue car there. It was a good miss. Can't really tell who that was.
Jackson McGeorge, I believe.
Jackson McGeorge just missed it. Maybe locked the tires a little bit, and this will be a very, very good view of the cars kind of falling right into his lap here. See the smoke, checks up, and then you see the 88 and the 19 around, and I don't know if he really hit him, and if he did, he just kissed him. So I think he'll be fine and be able to continue a little left front lock up, and hopefully flat spot him, but I think he'll be fine. And good miss, and like we said, Bradley, I think it's one pit road as I'm seeing Chris Nail come down under caution to get damage fixed. So that's tough, especially if you're on the back stretch as well. You don't have a lot of time to get damage fixed or get your pit stop fixed, especially if you started outside the top 30.
We were talking about some audio issues here in the chat. I want to just go ahead and ask if that's any better. I'm not quite sure if we're talking about me or Alec, but we did do some sound checks trying to get this thing adjusted, but just let us know if you're having troubles hearing us. We'll try to get that resolved. Nothing changed on my end. I know that I try to keep everything consistent every single week, but just let me know there, Mike Johnston.
All good. Tell you what, Brad, we were talking about it before we got going here. 250 laps. It could be a while in terms of caution laps if we get a lot of those, but if we go green, these laps click off 15 seconds. Actually, 14 seconds here. That was fastest lap turn so far, 14.669. So these laps will go by really quick. Tire strategy could play into a role later in this race of 250 laps. And tell you this, track position is going to be king here tonight, and we saw it on Sunday at Bristol as well. I think this whole race is going to be track position dependent, and here we go, coming to the green.
Back underway here at Bristol. A short little stint there to start this one off. Now back underway. It's going to be kind of turbulent in these first stages of this race. Everybody's trying to get a feel for one another and how they're going to drive off these corners. Right now, Dakota Floyd in that clean air, that's what you said. It's going to be hard to get around him.
There is, but Rob Rader thinks differently. He's going to the bottom, shoots down to the inside, but now you're going to be on that inside lane. You won't get the momentum that the 57 of Floyd's going to get. He'll get even with them, but you can see Floyd pulling away, and guy that didn't have a good restart, 66 Carter Lynn's falling back to fourth from second on the front row.
As we ride on board here with Rob Rader, he's been door to door with Dakota Floyd now for about 3 laps in a row and just can't get the pass completed.
He's going to sit back behind him here, and Lynn's might lose another spot to Kyler Harrison in the outside. He'll roll around him, and that 66 falls down to fifth, and up into third comes Trevor Erhardt, who, like we said, finished second at Darlington last week. So, a little contact there between Erhardt and Harrison there.
I was just thinking there on Monday night, the 45 of Tyler Harrison was having a stellar night. Trouble.
I think that's, wow, 11 cars around. Robinson, and oh, the 23 comes in there a little late. 55, Justin Ritchie's also caught up in it. Oh, that's just misjudgment there. The 11 goes up right with the 55 with momentum. Oh, the 10 comes piling in there, kind of following his lap there. Kyle Stewart, heavy damage, and there's the 23 of Schaefer coming in, and he's got more damage to the front end of that car.
He's almost locked up the brakes. He got stuck to the wall here for the 23.
Rex up there, you can see it happening. Locks up there, gets off the wall, and then there's the 11, and he kind of gets in his tour there. 55 heavy damage, missing the back end, got a lot of front end damage. That's going to be possibly the end of his night with the, talk about the Cup cars, the so precious toe link that you don't want to really mess up with, and I see that left front bouncing around, so that could be a race ender for him, and any sort of damage with how aerodynamically dependent these cars are is possibly race ending here. And Dakota Floyd's done a good job of keeping the lead here. And there's our KSX Racing Graphics pit barrels.
Yeah, got them front and back this week, so 2 sets of them. Try to get a look at the backstretch. Take a look at those. And we will have replays with those, and if we get green flag pit stops, there is a risk that drivers will hit those. And actually, we've seen guys get turned in the middle of these corners and actually end up, you know, getting thrown into them. Yeah,
it's tough to get thrown into these. I don't remember on a dirt race a couple of years ago, it was much easier to slide into them. I think it was Logano did it in the dirt race in 23, but so far, and you know, I'm noticing just like we saw on Sunday, the leader consistently picking the outside lane. So I know there was a choose cone. I saw that some updates with iRacing no longer in the mix, so I think it's just the leader gets lane choice, and Dakota Floyd's been doing a good job picking that outside lane, gets such a good launch off the corners, and it really seems like the guys on the inside can't get going as much as the guys on the outside.
So here we go with Dakota Floyd, Rob Rader. Pick up right where we left off. If Rader can get a decent restart, he might have a chance, but it seems like once these cars up to speed, the outside's where you want to be, and Floyd knows that. Obviously put some practice in. He's been rather competitive here by week 6 or so. Started finding his way up to the front. And of course we went to Coda there where the 57 got a connection issue just before the race started and had to start at the tail end and clawed his way back up to the top 5. So we'll have to wait to see what Floyd has been cooking up here for this one. Green flag back underway.
There's that launch, but Rader got a good start on the inside. Actually kind of stayed even with him until the exit of the corner, but now gets back in line straight up to the top lane.
That's probably where Rader's going to want to ride for a little while, see if Floyd uses up his stuff and try not to use up his own, because when you go down there on the bottom and try to stick it as he launched it into turns 3 and 4, you're going to burn it up.
Yeah, just tough to get underneath somebody. You see Rader kind of poking on the line, trying to get some clean air here to the nose, and he looks to be a little bit faster, but just Dakota can kind of get to the gas quicker and carry that momentum. These cars very momentum dependent, so that really helps, and just being able to keep that clean air is going to be a big key to winning this race. And who knows, there could be comers and goers as this race goes on. You see that car in 4th. That's last week's winner. Travis Gilbert started 11th. He's already up to 4th. That 22, making himself known early in this race, running a little bit lower, maybe trying to save those tires.
And he is in the clean air. That does help tremendously. And you can see to the inside for 3rd position, Tyler Harrison up on the high line. We've now put together double the run that we put together in the first stint of this race. 8 laps. Now we're at lap 22. Just keep tacking them on. Brendan Richardson, Michael Call, side by side there. Car riding along in front of him. That's Dylan Picklesheimer in the 35.
Rader able to get around Floyd for the lead. So Floyd's falling back to 3rd already as Harrison has gotten by him. You see a big moment from Floyd. Gilbert shoots down into 3rd and trying to get clear, but Floyd losing that clean air. And now Rob Rader has it, and now Tyler Harrison trying to chase him down. And Gilbert on the inside of the 57 here, really making that bottom work.
And if you look off the back bumper, we go to the 4-time champion here in the Chapman Cup Series. Rob Rader riding right in front of Tyler Harrison with a Recharge Rally Twisted T-Cam. Forget the name officially here, and I want to say it was the
Rally Daddy, right?
Rally Daddy, yes.
Yeah, there you go. Doing a good job running this.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a fantastic job. I don't know how many twisted T's it took him to get around this place tonight.
Oh, hopefully not too many, but he's doing a good job. And you see that clean track ahead of him. That's what you want. But we're in a moment from the 39 to Grant Turner on the bottom here. He's battling with Jeremy Burns on the outside in that 9 red and white car. Doing a good job here. And I see most everybody really way up the racetrack, almost wall riding it, kind of what you'd see. And how about that pedal cam? You see Turner nice and easy on the brake, easy on the gas. And then you're really kind of mad at once you get the car straightened out, and you can really, these cars have so much grip here, you can just kind of carry the momentum, and everybody here on the top. And I'll be curious to see if we'll see anybody really get on the bottom here. I think passes, you're going to have to do some slide jobs, and that's probably going to be the way you can pass here.
And this was Monday night's winner at Atlanta by 1/1700ths of a second. I was going to say 1/100th, but it's 1700ths of a second that he got across the line ahead of the 77 to win that race. It was a photo finish there in Atlanta.
It was very close. As you can see, faster Erhardt gets by him, but gets the wall and able to keep on going. And then behind Turner, it's Picklesheimer in the 35, who's starting to run the bottom. Richardson's kind of running up in that A car a little bit higher. Green front end, black roof. That car is getting a little bit faster up on the top here, but these runs, you got to be so careful saving your tires, not burning it up, because you know there is a realistic chance that we saw in the Cup race, 180 lap run is more than possible here, and that is a long way to go on tires. And I would expect some of these guys to pit a little bit earlier than that, but you're going to be running well over 100 laps over a course of a run.
Well, it's good that the Collision Center of Nashville is on the side of that machine, so not too far off. If he does tear the composite body off the right side of that thing, probably has some guys on the inside to help get this thing fixed up. We talk about fast repairs. The only time I think they have fast repairs in this series is at super speedways. Everywhere else, it's one and done. If you tear this thing up, you could be out of this thing.
I don't mind that rule. It's kind of a good rule. And tell you this though, good battling all around this racetrack. Here goes Picklesheimer past Turner here. Turner gonna lose one, maybe another, because Richardson's coming down to the inside of that A car. Turner gets up into the wall.
Picklesheimer, I think, has brushed the wall at least 3 times in the last lap. He's been up on that safer barrier every single time he exits or enters these corners.
Yeah, sorry, Picklesheimer, that's my bad. I was saying Picklesheimer, my apologies to him. But nonetheless, into the top 10, and there's a good battle here. That's like the Got the 51, Morty Cook starting to make his way up through the field. Started in the back. He's up double-digit spots.
Yes, he is. Up 14 now to the 19th position. And here's a name you might be familiar with, Alec. It's Nick Alves in the 24.
I am, and I think he won a race earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. So, doing a good job here, running. Started 27th, up a couple spots here, but he's in a side-by-side battle with Grant Thorne in the 77. And he's going to get clear in front of him, and now the 27 of Orlando's getting closer to him on the inside.
It's equivalent of putting shoes in the dryer. That's what these guys are going to feel like after 250 laps. But we're over 2/3 of the way through this stage number 1, and Rob Rader, with a commanding lead of 0.5 of a second, continues to grow in the Chapman 53, pulling away.
Yeah, and you can see soon, I think there's one damaged car. Robinson, Gaiori, they're closing up on these guys. And oh man, 23 is really calling around the race. I think it just got out of pit road, but Rob Rader starting to catch some traffic here, and starting to notice Harrison's kind of holding up Floyd, holding up the 22 of Gilbert, and here comes Linz in that 66 car coming back as we got a caution on the racetrack, and I believe it's Kyle Stewart around on the backstretch. It is, and there's a bumper fine. I believe that belongs to the 10.
Yes,
that
it
bumper's
does.
still going over, and you'll have to get that turned around. Now the caution comes out, and this is where they're put into an interesting strategy for the stage. And got hit by 2 cars there.
Yeah, the 5 of Jacob Sirkovich had nowhere to go there. And it was almost like a smoke screen as you watch here. A lot of contact between the 48 and the 27. They were 3 wide on the apron. Still 3 wide, and that's what did it.
Doesn't work. That doesn't work here. And you can see contact there. Oh, man, that's a tough hit there for Sirkovich. I think that's really going to hurt his handling of that race car. Couldn't tell the other car that got a piece of the 10. It might have been a 19 that got a piece, so I'm not really sure. Oh, no, there we go. We're on board with him, so. Yeah, man. Just nowhere to go. There's the 5. I get into it. Sorry, it was the 14, I believe, of Michael Bennett got a piece of that as well. So, his car looks a little more cleaner than Sirkovich's, but now, like I said, we're put in a weird spot here. We see some guys trying to do a track position strategy here and get to the front here. Save your tires for 20 or so laps, then stay out during the stage. I see Grant Turner coming in, and I think the 77 of Grant Thorpe. So the Grant's going to come in, but I don't know if we're going to see maybe some of the guys in the back try to get some track position after the stage.
Look here with Jeremy Burns. He's right where he started here tonight. Solidly in the top 10, still stuck in 7th though. Hasn't really done anything so much as trying to offense, but more defense, conserving. And it's been kind of new for you here, Alec, but Jeremy Burns is notorious for hypnotizing these guys, making them think that he's not a factor, and then really turning up the heat in the final 20 or so laps.
Hey, there you go, the closer. That's what you like. Kevin Harvick, notorious for that as well during his career. So, see, it doesn't matter how good you could be in these first half races. It just matters where you can get finished. And in the playoffs here, with the playoff system, you just want to get as many points as you can. If you could get a win, that's going to make your season much easier. But if you can't, you want to build up as many points as you can, especially with these guys with their schedule. You still got Talladega coming up in 2 weeks time, and still got Atlanta and another race at Daytona. So a lot of races to go where you can have some upset winners. Talladega, Daytona, Atlanta, those are kind of the great equalizers. You just never know how races can play out. It's always good to get points just in case, and especially coming up to the end of the stage, you want to get some stage points to make sure, even if you have a bad night, you can still capitalize on, getting away from the track with some points.
So double back up here on lap 48. We'll have just under 20 to go, somewhere around 15 to go. That stage kind of at a weird time, but again, we're going to go back. Green flag racing as the iRacing pace car out of the way for the 3rd time today. Back underway, a little wheel spin there in the 2nd row for the 57 of Dakota Floyd.
And he's on the bottom there. That's going to hurt him because he's going to lose another spot, maybe to the 91 of Reed. He gets up into him and he gets into the wall. Puts Reed in the 91 in the wall, and that might be a wreck. They're 4 wide off of turn number 4, and Dakota Floyd definitely heavy suspension damage to the 57.
Right front definitely buckled on that one. And he is going to bring it down pit road here.
Oh, I think he's going to be in trouble out of this race.
He had a lot of wheel spin, had contact with the 22 as we go back on our replay.
See, Reed's going to come up there, has a nice run. Floyd just need to make that move a little bit quicker, and they just kind of meet together. And more damage to the 57, although the 91 does have heavy damage. But that's two good cars running inside the top 10. Going to need to get that fixed. And Dakota Floyd, your pole sitter, who led about 30 laps, is already out of this race. And Rob Rader getting out to about 0.4 of a second lead, but Gilbert closing in a little bit, and behind them for third, Harrison and Lynn's battling for third. Then you got Erhardt in fifth, Burns right behind them. It looks like Harrison gets up into the wall.
Back on board here with the 9. He's peeking to the inside. This is for the top 5. And what I was saying earlier, this is going to be the part where Burns absolutely needs to capitalize. This is the time to push as Harrison gets loose out of 4.
Pickles, wow, 35 got shoved down there by the 45 of Harrison. There's the 12 of Justice Murphy. I haven't really mentioned him much, but he's starting to get up into the top 10. And behind them, Trevor Keith, the 15, and the 65 of John Fike battling as well. Some good battling in the top 10. And if you save your tires in that first couple, 40 laps or so, now you got to give it all he's worth. And I'm starting to notice Travis Gilbert is doing that because he's running down Rob Brader. Only a 10th out as we're on board with Trevor Keith here up into the 9th.
And all over the back bumper of the Rally Daddy 45, Trevor Keith. He looks like he has a podcast, doesn't he?
Might. Just maybe.
He definitely has a Twitch channel, Keith Stone. 48 there.
Yeah, good setup there. It's a good looking race car. I like the blue there. That blue looks really nice. And I'll tell you what, oh, we almost have a wreck off of 4. The 8 car almost got turned down the front stretch. This is a good battle. No, there it is. Caution. That might have been a checkup from the front. I believe Grant Thorpe is turned around on the front stretch.
So that's probably going to do it for the stage then. I'm going to call it here. Rob Rader is going to get the stage victory in the top 10 on the left-hand side of your screen with Rader, Gilbert, Lenz, Erhardt, Burns, and Pickles, Simer, Murphy, Harrison, Keith, and Fike. I think some of these guys were glad that came out. If you're Tyler Harrison, you're probably thanking everybody that caution happened when it did. He was going to fall out of the top 10.
Yeah, he was really struggling on pace there, and I'm curious to see what the deal here is. I think it was the stage on lap 60, so might want to come in here. I got to think he'd want to come in, and here comes well, the whole field coming in. I doubt we'll see anybody else there. Grant Thorpe was one of those drivers that came in to get damage, or excuse me, to get maybe some track position. Well, he ended up getting involved, and even all the guys that already pitted, well, they're all coming in. So the whole entire field coming in this time by. I think Thorpe going to actually stay out here. So the 11 of Matt Robinson gets the lucky dog, but all the guys on the lead lap going to come in and get some stops here. And that number 1 stall that was held by Dakota Floyd, well, it doesn't matter anymore because he is out of the race.
Well, in the event that I might have broke my cameras here, trying to get that KSX pit barrel camera set up, so I apologize for that. Now, down and away here for Rader. He's going to hold on to the lead, the 22 right behind him of Gilbert. And that'll bring us to stage number 2 of this event. Don't go anywhere, though. We have more action to cover from the last great Coliseum. Chapman Cup Services, Chapman Environmental Cup Series. Losing my mind here. More coverage continues. The Hinkle Holmes 250 right after this.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And My goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today.
Well, the caution's in quick here at Bristol, and we're back underway. Stage number 2 with Grant Thorpe, who stayed out. Rob Rader on the outside, competing with Gilbert for second.
Man, what a move from Rader to the outside, trying to get that clean air back. Thorpe pitted before the second last caution, trying to get some track position. Got him to lead a couple laps, but now he's in trouble as Rader and Gilbert, and here comes Lanes on the outside. They're going to get around him. 2 cars get around, now the third car, the 66 getting around. And here comes that back from lead between Gilbert and Rader.
Look all the way back through this field. There's a lot of people that haven't seen the top 10 here today, and that traffic jam from 12th on back continues. Grant Turner, who was up there, so was the 45 of Harrison, had a little bit of problems on pit road there for the 45, and he fell out of the top 10.
And point out, Alex, for Jay Baruta, he had a penalty there on the restart, so he's serving his penalty. That's not good for a driver who's won 2 races this season. I believe Michael Reed also bringing it down pit lane. So both these drivers serving possibly race-ending penalties here. They're going to lose a ton of time, a ton of laps.
Unfortunate there for Alex Forget, and he's actually having a blinking issue, so I'm not sure if maybe he got a black flag from iRacing. I know that that was recently added. I don't know if it's part of hosted races or not.
I think it is, so yeah, it could be a possibility. As Gilbert to the inside of Rader here for the lead. And looks like he just can't get him as Rader using that outside lane, and now Gilbert shooting back down to the bottom, but just so hard to make a pass there on the bottom unless you can get next to him inside, kind of throw a slider on him.
Yeah, we saw that earlier with Rader. He really had to send it into the corner. Fortunately for him, the 57 made the mistake up there on the high line, got into the wall, and that's what you just saw there with the 53. Playing a dangerous game, 22's around.
Gilbert slides back up the racetrack and everybody avoid him. Somehow, some way, nobody got into him. That is amazing as they all miss him. He's going to get kind of caught on the
have to hit and reverse.
Yeah, he might be stuck on the diffuser. He's got to hurry up and not lose a lap, but that's hard battle and racing for the lead, and they just made contact, and he's going to lose a lap. Ow. That was not expecting that, and that's going to trap Gilbert a lap down as these two are battling for the lead.
There's the contact.
I
think 22 just came up a little bit too high there, and then right here you're going to see a flood of cars come by. That was the 24 of Alves that just barely missed him.
I don't know how he did, and great job missing him, but yeah, I think it just looked like both of them kind of racing for the same, or trying to get to the same piece of real estate there. And they just kind of met in the middle, and unfortunately it sent the 22 down, and on both the 24 Alves, and just missed him. I mean, inches away from him. No flex of the fender, so he's all good.
That's close. We got to back it up one more time, though, with the 22. See if we can get a better angle of this contact.
I think this will be good right here. You can kind of see what happens, and I'll slow it down maybe a little bit here as see Rader kind of gets something into the wall and then kind of coming down. 22's coming up. I think the 22 expected Rader to be a little bit higher up on that outside wall, and he wasn't, and he just kind of came up into him and just bounced off of him. Did a good job keeping it off the inside wall, but I mean, he can't really do much. Track's so narrow. He's lucky he didn't get clobbered, because I was fully expecting with 24 cars to come by him, he might have got grazed or hit by one, but good job by the rest of this field not hitting him. Good job by the 22 there of not letting him go all the way up the racetrack and getting nailed. So good job by Travis Gilbert. And that bid for 2 in a row is not going to be looking as good as it was just 5 laps ago.
Well, and unfortunate, like you said, he got stuck on the diffuser there on the apron of the racetrack. That transition going from 30 degrees to about 8 degrees. That's how steep the banking is here. And once that car got pinned up there, he kind of found both transitions. There's actually a double apron here where the banking gets more shallow for pit road exit and entry. and then it's flat down at the bottom. So he was stuck in 2 transitions, and he's going to end up losing a lap, not able to get that car back turned around.
Yeah, it's a shame, but like I said, 1 lap down, that's recoverable. Gonna need some cautions to follow his way, get back on the lead lap, and then he's gonna have to pass a lot of cars. So could see maybe the 22 getting off strategy here, but Rob Rader's got a good hold on this field, and I think his closest competition now sits a lap down. So we'll see maybe Linz can get a chance at him, and don't count out that 9, like you said. Jeremy Burns gonna be a tight battle for second here as we go back green.
Burns starting to turn up the heat. He turned it up enough there to get a top 5 in the stage 1. Started in 7th. He's been top 10 all night. Now running the high line through 3 and 4. He's going to get a good run and clear Linz. Now goes after Rob Rader.
He's looking there. Everybody's kind of running the inside line a little bit more, knowing maybe that this run might be a little bit longer. And how about the 89, Michael Call? We haven't talked about him tonight.
Yeah.
Started 26th up into 3rd, and now battling Burns for 2nd. So big moves.
Contact.
Oh, he bounces into Burns there. Big contact.
Bounces off the door of the 9. Holds it down to the bottom. Gets loose. Linz gets loose. I think that turn 4 exit on the low line is not where you want to be.
Oh, man.
Cut the
Call
nose
shut
off.
the door on Erhardt there. Look at that. Grant Turner up on the outside of that 39. Battling Linz for 5th.
We're talking about 20-lap-old tires here, roughly. Probably 16 or 17 under green. These guys are using them up here to try to get track position. Gotta wonder what they're going to be like at lap 120, where we saw there in stage 1, we got 40 laps in, and everybody was slipping and sliding.
And we'll see. And we saw what happened with Harrison, where it didn't really matter. He had some good practices, but if you push the tires a little too hard, that could maybe really hurt you. And Harrison has fallen all the way back to, I believe, 18th on the racetrack. So has really had a fall from grace here as he's battling the 14 of Bennett. And we'll see. He's on the bottom instead of the top most of this run. So we'll see how much that'll affect him as we go later and later into this race. And still, who knows how long of a run we can get. And one of these guys, if we get a caution, are willing to pit here. As Rader, our leader, has kind of been running the bottom here a lot more than he did the first stage.
Morgan Cook has worked his way up to 8th position, up 25 spots. Biggest mover of this race so far is the 51. Battles with the 65 of John Fike for 8th.
Another car we haven't really talked about either, the 13 Al Lincolns. He's been up quietly in 6th in that beast Toyota Camry. So having a good run there for the 13, up into 6th behind Linz in 39 of Phillips. Or excuse me, Turner.
Yeah, Al Lincoln's all over the back bumper of Linz. Working his way closer and closer to this top 5, and you can see the battle for the lead. Less than a 10th of a second there out of turn 4.
Oh! Turner smoked the wall off of 4, and I think Linz might have got into him, but a big save out of Grant Turner. That could have been a big wreck, and wow. Good save.
So we coming out of turn 4 right here.
Kind of snapped on him. Good save. Bounced the wall. Kind of really helped him here. And wow, Picklesheimer he battles. Oh, we got trouble down. I believe the backstretch. Brandon Richardson is around.
Also got the 19 of Berube involved in that. He was hiding down there by the wall.
Yeah, and he's 2 laps down, and really a worse night. Kind of getting worse here as the 19 involved in an incident.
Oh, there was multiple cars in this. 27.
Oh, yeah.
If Kevin Orlando is involved. I think this happens ahead of the 19.
Yeah, there's Gilbert as well. He's looking, and oh yeah, there was a little bit of a mix-up ahead of him that stacked everybody up.
Grant Thorpe got in the wall there. There's the 8 going around with Jackson McGeorge, and nowhere to go for Jojoya.
Jojoya, and there's another car. Another car there. Is that Sirkovich? He also got a piece of that.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
It kind of all started, I think Morgan Cook kind of got knocked sideways, and those guys all try to save it, and then Richardson gets turned, and
What happened to Cook? Cook was up in the top 10 there.
Well, it looked like he got loose there off of turn 4, and that was kind of what stacked everybody up, and then kind of led to that wreck. So he went from 8th to 17th, and Not sure exactly what got him loose or what happened, but like I said, I think he was, kind of not the main reason of the caution, but it looked like kind of this is what stacked everybody up. I think Picklesheimer right behind him. I'm not really sure what happened here. I think he just maybe the back end steps out. This I think the lap prior to what happened. We'll
this
see
is
what
way up
happens.
ahead. He was running around the 8th position when this went down.
Oh, so there's John Fike on the 65 there, and Fike
Contact.
kind of washed up into him. Everybody gets kind of checks up because of that wreck, and then that accordion stacks up. You see cars stacking up there, Harrison, and I believe Holloway stacking up there, and then there's the 8 car getting turned there, and then there's the 7 getting a piece, and a lot of guys getting a piece of that one.
So damage getting repaired, that's another factor here at Bristol. You don't have a lot of time. You're going to get maybe 15 seconds of damage repaired at a time. And he had to stop for a closed pit, and the 5 followed him into the back bumper, and now they've got more damage to repair.
It's not what you want to do when, honestly, you just take your exit in closed pits, and I don't think the 5's going to be too happy with the 8 of Richardson there, and 5 because of penalty. As well, but now only 24 cars in the lead lap, and 22 maybe clean cars. A lot of this field's getting torn up, not even halfway through this race, so could be a race of attrition from what it's already looked like. And we've already seen some big wrecks, and if we get a caution in front of these guys, it could be a really big pileup.
Into that restart zone we go. Green flag back underway for Rob Rader.
Doing a good job restarting on the bottom here. He's getting away, and here comes Erhardt at the 41, up to second in front of Burns, kind of shuts the door on him.
We've seen a lot of people trying that bottom line, or maybe that hybrid middle late apex. It seems to be working. I think that's the 88.
Michael Collin Likens is in the wall. 13 having a really good day. That's heavy damage, kind of similar to what happened to Dakota Flood. They made some contact off of turn 2. Oh yeah, washed up into him there, and that's a heavy hit for the 13 of Likens, and that might be race over, and for sure I'd have to guess results in a bent towing.
The side-by-side continues back here outside the top 10 as a result of that.
Yeah, Call really struggling now. Maybe heated up those rears more than he wanted to. And here comes Morgan Cook to his outside 24. Al's right behind them. And Tyler Harrison kind of being loyal to the bottom as Cook shoots to the outside of Call. Making that top line work as Harrison shuts the door on him.
Harrison did not get a good exit out of that corner.
No, and because of that last caution that came out, and he's right behind Morgan Cook. Travis Gilbert already back up to 16th.
Yeah, got back on the lead lap, dives to the inside. I think he's seeing a little bit of red here.
He is, and he's got fresh tires, so you can really see it's much better to maneuver around this racetrack. But what he needs is this run, I should say, to go about 60, 70 laps to really utilize these guys' utilize these new tires. So we'll see. But he's doing a good job getting up to the field, but it's tough when you got guys on the bottom, in the middle, and on the top.
Yeah, still hasn't been able to clear. He's trying to get around Parker Johnson here for 13th spot. He has Tyler Harrison taking away his line, giving him a little bit of dirty air. Johnson's going to get to the outside. 22 almost clears Morgan Cook in the 51. He's stuck in a traffic jam. 65 gets loose. That's Al Likens. The fight, rather.
Fight got a little bit loose. Now the 48 gets up into the wall. Parker Johnson just grazes it. Harrison on the inside. Now you're kind of stuck. You're boxed in because here comes the 26 as well. Kyle Diaz also on fresh tires behind Gilbert. So these two really trying to find their way around and pick and choose what lanes to go in. But everybody's so packed up on the bottom and in the middle, it's kind of hard to find another lane to go into.
You're watching here with the back bumper of Rob Rader. He has company for the lead. Jeremy Burns had it down to just under a 10th of a second there for a moment. Thought the 9 car was going to make a pass, but we're going to go back here with Johnston, and this battle continues from 10th on back.
Yeah, it's just really good racing. So everybody kind of stacked up on each other, different tire strategies kind of providing this kind of racing that you're seeing. The 54 Gilbert maybe trying to get up a little, or he's battling with the 14 of Bennett, but Travis Gilbert, excuse me, he's working himself almost up into the top 10 here as he's still battling Morgan Cook, who's up ahead of him, Justice Murphy in the 10, and now he gets by him. He'll move that 22 up to 10, and now Morgan Cook, Bennett, and Caleb Gilbert up ahead. And I think if Bennett could get to the bottom here, he might be able to get by some of these guys here. They're still backed up side by side.
The high line here of Caleb Gilbert in the 54, the 12 of Justice Murphy. Not a good exit there off of turn 4. And he falls back a little bit here. You're starting to see maybe a little bit of that tire wear become a factor now. And for the 22, like you said, he needs this run to go as long as possible to benefit the most, because you're going to start to even out here. You
will, and then obviously you're being in traffic, having to get by guys. That just burns more of that extra rubber.
Hard hit the wall for the 14.
Bennett smokes the wall on the outside, and look at this. Now Cook going back to the bottom. Gilbert kind of trapped behind, and it's really hard. You want clean air to your nose to utilize those fresh tires. Well, it's really hard when they're taking both the lanes that are usable up. And we're seeing him have to bide his time. Justice Murphy's right to his inside, so he can't go much lower to get out of the wake of the 14 of Bennett there. So, and then behind him, it's just a traffic jam. Diaz behind Murphy with a little bit fresher tires. On the outside, Michael Call trying to work himself up there. John Fike fighting on the outside there, and Kyle Diaz. So look at this. Just keep stacking up.
Yeah, it's about 8 rows deep now that we're seeing some side-by-side and almost some 3 wide as Bennett tags the wall again. Cook able to clear. Do we look 3 wide?
Yeah, maybe, but I don't recommend it. This is a wreck waiting to happen here with just the different tire strategies and stuff. And Diaz able to pass the 22 of Gilbert here, just utilizing that bottom. And this could be another race within the race as Diaz utilizing those fresh tires to get around here. And Bennett really holding up everybody. That 14 falling off of a cliff right now as he gets into the wall. Fight gonna send him 3 wide. Oh, the 89 of Call gets knocked down the racetrack.
3 wide never works here at Bristol. Not a lot of room for error. Said it's just waiting to happen. I think we're pulling the pin right now on this grenade from 10th on back.
It's about to, and these guys are getting fed up with the 14. Guys are getting fed up with each other. They're moving each other out of the way if they can. There's the 14 getting tight. Call gets up there. McGeorge up into the wall. Grant Thorpe on the inside in that 77.
3 wide again.
That's not going to work. Alvis backs out of it there.
Yeah, Al's just about forced the nose in there involuntarily.
Oh, this is going to get tight off the corner. Look at that. Holloway bouncing off there. And that 14
3 wide.
Right now, this is going to be bouncing off of each other again. 14 in the wall. Holloway making contact with Alves, and then here comes McGeorge on the bottom. 19 of Berube there as well. Call finally getting out of that gaggle here. 24 way up the racetrack, battling Holloway, and the 14 is just plummeting through the field. Michael Bennett struggling with that car.
He might have too much damage. That right front probably knocked out at this point.
Yeah, definitely some toe damage, I would say. And oh my goodness, 24 cut it close there with the 21. Almost some contact there up ahead. These guys battling hard. There's Tyler Harrison starting to get up a little bit higher on the racetrack, back to where he's comfortable. And he shoots back up into, this is a battle for 17th on the racetrack behind Alves, behind Holloway, Daniel Holloway there, and kind of pushing it. Tell you what, I like Tyler Harrison running the 45 because I know he's not afraid to get up high, wide, and handsome, and kind of like Tyler Reddick, so I think that number fits well for him here. And 89 of Call starting to fall back here.
89 of Call kind of blocks off the run here. Harrison had a good exit. Probably could have got around the 24 of Nick Alves. It's going to kind of delay this pass in a little blink there from the 24. Meanwhile, we've got a battle for the top 10. Morgan Cook, Kyle Diaz, Justice Murphy.
And they all kind of get it sorted, and Travis Gilbert has worked himself up into, oh, look at that, Murphy bounces off of Cook there on the door. Diaz gets into the back of him. And I'm starting to notice some guys were hitting that tire cliff. 62 laps, probably 50 green flag laps on these tires. Grant Turner's starting to fall off. Picklesheimer's really turning some good times here. Yeah, and now here comes Caleb Gilbert to the bottom here. And looking here, Diaz with fresher tires trying to get by. But Travis Gilbert is hauling the mail right now. 3/10 faster than your leader, Robert Rader.
Also has about a 30-lap difference, so
Yeah.
it's safe to say for every 10 laps, you're going to lose a 10th here. Based off of that math, Gilbert back to the lead lap. Had a gift there. Of course, you had that contact for the lead. 22 gets stuck on the apron. If you're just joining us, Travis Gilbert was competing for that top spot, and he's trying to go back-to-back here in the Cup Series. Rob Rader, winless this season. Your 4-time champion hasn't won a race. It's been the guy behind him, and we've got a caution.
Michael Call is around, and we talked about how much he was falling off. I think the 48 of Johnston got into it as well. Got to watch out backing up here, but Michael Call goes around here, and he's going to lose a lap. I think Johnston's car's killed, and he is going to just take you to the garage. But Michael Call involved, and that kind of kills the strategy for Gilbert, who was really making up some good time here. And now everybody going to probably bring it in down pit road.
We're going to take a quick look at this here and figure out what happened to the 89. He's right up on the back bumper of the 45 of Harrison. And the lap car there with the 11 down off the apron. And we backed this up quite a ways because I'm not quite sure when it happened. It looks like right here,
yeah.
the 24-3 wide.
Alves gets into him, spins in front, and nowhere for Johnston to go. And I think the 23 also got a piece of that. That was Schaefer, who's a lap down. Or actually, he is 26 laps down. So that's bad night getting worse there. Now everybody coming into pit road here. I doubt we'll see too many strategies here, but maybe later in this race. I think 2 tires is a viable strategy here. If you can get clean air with 2 tires, you're going to be a little bit looser, which will help you. And it could really, you can hold them off here, especially if you're on the top here. But I think right now we're going to see everybody take 4 because we still got another, 120 laps to go.
So into the pit stall. Have to be careful not to slide through, and a very wide angle there for the 41, but enough to be inside the box and get service to this machine. You see Lynn's there in the very front box. 57 did have that first pit stall. So now Lynn's could just shoot straight out of here. Maybe pick up a spot. 9 going to pick up some positions. No, he's going to get back to second.
I think Lynn's got one, though.
Yeah.
Could be good for him if he starts, behind the leader.
Well, don't go anywhere. Chapman Cup Series action continues here from Bristol in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break from Bristol. Be back on V-Speed right after this.
No way, 1 degree.
It's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Welcome back here to Bristol Motor Speedway, and we got a new leader here as we come back on this and take you back on an instant replay and take a look at this past 4 position as the 9 car gets around. Rob Rader, he He was all over the back bumper for a couple laps. Gets the high line through 1 and 2. Shoots it down the backstretch, and there he goes. 9 car to the point for the first time today. Rob Rader falls back to around the 3rd position as we go back to our live shot.
He's under pressure from Linz in the 66. Gilbert just got by the 41 of Erhardt. So there's a little bit of ways to go, but Burns kind of running away, half a second gap already. And yeah, so we'll see here. But I'm noticing everybody a little bit lower than normal. I think knowing that this could be the final run of the day, especially with more cars falling out of this race, that, you know, 120 laps is a long way to go on these sets of tires.
The track temperature has come down a little bit, and the average of that track temperature, because there's a lot of shade on the backstretch now from where we started. Coming out of the exit of turn 2, all the way down that back straightaway, it's starting to cool off down there.
Gilbert going to the outside of Linz here. Rader goes to cover it. That could be big here. Out of the lead is Jeremy Burns with the lead here. And now Linz on the inside. Gilbert trying to poke middle. I don't know if I recommend that. But now Gilbert back up to 3rd. So what a very, very good climb up through the field from a lap down to the lucky dog to just kind of driving through it. I know he had to go off sequence, but it's paid off.
It has,
Rader
absolutely. That was a mistake there by the 9.
Yeah. Let his guard down a little bit there and got Rader right back to his back bumper. Didn't catch him off guard into 1 and 2, but he almost did. I really think if we get a long green flag run here, I really do think that it's going to be between Burns and Gilbert here. They've just been so good long run. I think Rader saving tires this run might help him out here, but I really do think the 22 has maybe the best long run car. And it seems to be a trend in the series of guys going 2 in a row.
Yes, it does. It has been all season long. You had Alex Forget have some success. You've had Jeremy Burns with the success. The 22 car gets that win last week and now looks to the inside of Rob Rader. He's going to send it here into 1 and 2. Not enough off the exit.
Good move, just couldn't do it there. Momentum off the top, so much better. Linz closing up again. Here comes a run for the 22. Down the front stretch, pokes bottom. Can he do a slider into 1 and 2? No, he can't. Rader gets back around him on the outside.
Rader, an early stab to the throttle there to keep himself in that position. And we've got a caution.
Not really sure where it's at. Is that, I think it's the 48. Oh, there it is, the 7. Joyo is around. They're going to have to split him every which way.
Joe Joya sitting here. What looks like the entry at 3 and 4. And that car a little bit broken.
Battling Likens here, and oh wow.
I think we just put the pit barrels up. We haven't had the opportunity yet, so.
Yeah. Well, interested by that. I mean, they're both 32 and 37 laps down racing each other. That's a shame. Now, caution come out there, and nobody gonna go off sequence here. Oh, maybe the 54 Caleb Gilbert gonna bring it down pit road there, and yeah, just kind of ran out of racing room there and brought out the caution. Interesting there, and now Thorpe and I think who's that? Yeah, Thorpe and Gilbert, at least Caleb Gilbert, bringing it down pit road here. So they're gonna go a little off seeking. Grant Turner in as well. The 11 of Robinson's in. I think I see Michael Paul stays out. So Bennett coming in, Forget coming in. So
the part that we need to focus on here is you were talking about the 9 and the 22. Rob Rader, though, he's been masterful at playing defense and holding position. You saw there with Gilbert. He's keeping Gilbert on the exits, and that's the art of defense here at Bristol, is if you can prevent that guy from clearing you into the entry of the corner, stay to his door, you can hold that position. We saw it with the 57 of Dakota Floyd at the start of this race. And even if you are a little bit slower, it doesn't matter because this guy can't run his line to clear you and get away.
Yeah, it's tough to get around. And that's why I say, and Bradley, you've broadcasted Saturday Night League and Racing League, and I've seen it in just by time driving. And this car, even in real life, you can't manipulate the air in front of you. you got to be defensive, and Raiders doing a good job kind of keeping momentum up. I'm just really surprised because I think these guys are going to have to pit one more time unless we go green to the end here. I'm really surprised I haven't seen anybody try taking 2 and getting track position. And that's surprising to me because I think whoever can get in front of these guys, you can just kind of be a roadblock, and it's hard for them to pass you unless they rough you up. So I'd be curious to see. Maybe these new tires do something, but maybe later in this race, if we see guys get off strategy and take 2 tires, because I really do think it's going to work.
Green flag back underway on lap 154 from Bristol. Just under 100 to go in race number 8 of the season. And the 53 really loose. Linz on the outside. This is for the top 3. Carter Linz gonna get a 2 for 1, I think, here.
He did. And I tell you what, the reason why Raider got loose is he got a little bit of a bumper shot there from the 22 of Gilbert, but Linz fighting hard on the outside here. Raider going down a little bit lower here. Gilbert going to try to utilize that momentum. As we got a big wreck pile up into turn 3. Murphy's around. I see the 98 McGeorge, the 27 Orlando Jr., and I think Grant Turner up on the outside while there was another car that shot down. I think the 54 of Gilbert might have been involved. That's a big wreck.
That's the risk you take coming down pit road like that.
Oh, up ahead, Morgan Cook maybe got turned around, and then there's nowhere for Holloway, Murphy, McGeorge. That is a 7, 8, 10 car wreck. Kyle Diaz, and I believe that's Trevor Keith in the 15 up ahead. No, I think he just got loose, kind of tank slapped into the 12 of Murphy, spun him around. Oh, and Forge Berube gets another piece of an incident. Unfortunately, that's going to take his lucky dog away because he was involved in the incident. So, haven't had a lot of things go right for him for that 19. And Orlando's involved with George. That's a lot of cars getting damaged. We're staying out on the racetrack, surprised by that. Ooh, that's a solid shot there to the left front, and then a shot to the right front on the wall. That's a really, really heavy hit.
Yeah, 98 nowhere to go. He got hit in the back. He got hit in the left. He got hit in the front. Rode the wall. It's a lot of damage there for the high noon 98 machine. And so we had another multi-car incident back here, and we've got some drivers that came down pit road. Morgan Cook, of course, trying to get some damage repaired. As you see the pace car coming out, just about ready to pass these guys. And you got guys on the back straightaway that are getting damage repaired, or this is rather the front stretch. And that's how quick it happens. When you have a pit stall on the back straightaway, you might get 5-10 seconds to figure out your repairs, and you pretty much just get a report of how damaged the car is. You don't really get to repair it.
Not much you can do there, and unfortunately, it just kind of stacks up. And you want to hear something interesting, though? How about Rob Rader was able to get second away from Linz when the caution came out. And it's kind of trapped Linz on the bottom here, but if he can get a good restart and clear the 53, that's probably going to be his best shot here, especially restarting behind Burns, the leader. But now you put Gilbert and Rader on the outside here. They can maybe pin that 66 down on the bottom, and Picklesheimer behind the 22 having a good run here. And how about Harrison back up to 8th on the race in the race position. So good rebound here for the 45 as well.
Yeah, we've had comers and goers all night, as you predicted there at the beginning of this thing. But I think most of it has just been gutsy calls on pit road. It's not so much that they have the long run speed or they're passing a lot of cars. They're just making some calls as we go back green. It's going to take a lot of those. Jeremy Burns finds his way to the top spot. We're looking 3 wide here through 1 and 2.
Ooh, Gilbert thought about it, but he just can't do it. Lynn's going to be stuck on the bottom behind them. Everybody getting up close to the wall here. And now Gilbert gets by, and as cars dwindle, how long will these runs really get? Or will there be any? He's almost 3 wide there between Harrison, Keith, and Gilbert, or I should say, or Caleb Gilbert, who has those fresher tires.
He's got some damage on the right front as well, but fresh tires making up for that.
Okay, this 26 is outside. Kyle Diaz getting a run. I'm telling you, if we get a long run here, maybe, another 40 laps, everybody comes in. I don't want to say this, but I think if anybody comes in and takes 2, they would win this race. I just think being in the lead is so important. If you could just hold them off with those 2 tires, you would win this race. Is anybody going to be able to do it is the question. As Burns holding on Raider and holding on Gilbert here. This is, I think, going to be a really good battle here. As I think the less longer the run goes in here, I think Raider's really good short to mid run here. If he can just pounce and pressure Burns into a mistake, he can get this lead. Is here the way Morgan Cook utilizing. Oh no! Well, he had a chance to really make it a good move, and that's going to make that move come undone, and well, somehow still going, but I got to think a little bit of suspension damage.
Curse of the commentators. Putting the camera on the 51, he's having struggles. Yeah, it's definitely some suspension damage.
Struggling now up ahead. Look at that. Harrison almost making contact with the 26 of Diaz there. Here comes Gilbert to the outside. Keith behind him. 45's in super save mode, I can tell you that. So he's really trying to save those tires for the end of this race.
Yeah, no reason to race there with Caleb Gilbert. Gilbert has about 20
Keith
lap
gets
pressure.
turned. Oh, goes Alves into the inside wall, and they're stacking up behind. Somehow didn't get hit by Turner. And that was contact with the 24 of Alves and Keith going around.
13 gets a piece of it. Al Likens just wants this place to be over with. He's already 4 laps down. He wants these wave bys, and he's not getting them.
Validating had a call there, and I think he got by him here, and then he's got up to the back of the 15, and I think just sent it in a little too hard. I don't think the 15 was expecting to be there, kind of hit down a little bit. 14 of Bennett got a piece of it, and then both of them end up in the inside and the outside wall, and then Likens, just the race getting worse for him. He goes down to the inside wall, and bad to worse. I'm both Morgan Cook. It's to put the camera on him the wrong time, I guess.
Yeah, he'd already kind of had some issues there, and then more issues in front of him here. And he's just trying to figure out where to go.
Here we go, guys, pitting here. This is interesting. Is anybody willing to take 2 tires here? I really do think if you can get the lead here, it's just so powerful. 2 tires, I think, makes the car drive better too. Diaz is going to stay out, so that's interesting. Orlando Jr. staying out. Grant Turner staying out. I just really wonder. Yeah, I just wonder, is anybody willing to take 2 tires here? Get some track position. It's been so hard to pass. Is anybody willing to take that chance?
Joya, of course, trying to get a wave around. I think he's just trying to get some of these laps back. Yeah, it's just not going to happen there with 32 laps down. And Diaz going to take the lead. There's 2 tires.
We're taking 2. I like that. That's a big move. I really like that move. I like that move. I think, wow, Raider beat the 9 out of pit road, beat Burns out. So that's going to throw Burns back 2 positions. But I think for Travis Gilbert here, if you can get through these 3 cars ahead of you, that's the way to go. I think Orlando and Grant are going to be a little bit harder because they got fresher tires than the 26 Diaz. Diaz staying out of 40-lap old tires, I think he's just going to be an obstacle to get around. For these leaders here, for the 22, for the 53, and the 9, whoever can get ahead of these three cars here, get clean air, that's going to be the difference here. Gilbert's just got to watch out for the 26. If he gets trapped behind him, he's going to be really, really slow. I like where Raiders at here. You got 2 cars on your inside with a little bit fresher tires here. You just need the 26 to kind of hold up the 22 and the 9, and I think maybe maneuver by these guys. It's be interesting to see here. This restart's going to be more hectic than all the other ones we've seen.
In cautions, 5 lead changes. Rob Raider got stage number 1. Kyle Diaz, the command car for this restart lap, set 173 out of 250. And the 22 already going to work.
Yeah, beautiful. That's exactly what he needed. Oh, look at this. Burns gets turned into Raider, and they both slide and collide together. And the 2 dominant cars of the day are caught up in an incident. And that is heartbreaking for your stage 1 winner and the driver who's led the most laps today. Both of them heavy damage, and it plays more into the hands of Travis Gilbert as hectic and all chaos breaking loose.
The execution on this restart for the 22 to take away the lead immediately. And
that's about as perfect as the restart could have went.
And then the carnage that ensued right after it. Big checkup, 39 got loose. Raider nowhere to go, and there was 3 wide just behind him. Rader's done for the day.
Yeah, he's done. I think the 9's going to be ill handling all day. I mean, look at the left front's not even spinning on the racetrack. And I think that incident looked like Rader got maybe a little impatient on the bottom, and he just sent the 39 up the track, and it clipped Burns just right into his path and spun both of them down the racetrack. And that is just a shame for Burns, who's led most laps, and then Rader, who's been second or leading this race the entirety of it, won this first stage. Obviously, he's going to have some points to his names to make the woo not so bad. But, I mean, nonetheless, he had a chance to win, and now both of these drivers are going to be out of this race most likely. And that's just a shame. 2 dominant cars taken out there. That plays perfectly into the hands of Gilbert there. Taking 2 tires gets you out of that mess. You get a good restart, and now you're where you want to be. You got the lead. And honestly, in my opinion, I think he was the best long-run car. So it's going to be hard for any of these guys to really get around him. You got to watch out for maybe Erhardt or Picklesheimer, who's had decent speed long-run. These guys going to be on 4 compared to his 2, but I just like the 2-tire call here.
Pick.
Yeah, Carter Lins, but I'm worried about him. He's trapped behind a couple cars here.
Yeah. I think here it's a podium possibility for the 66 and the 35. I mean, you've got some guys up here that stayed out, of course, and have been a little bit off pace all day. Kevin Orlando, of course, stayed out. You have the 39, the 35 is on fresh tires. Just going back to look. 2 tires. Let's say 2 tires for Gilbert. I don't know if that'll be a factor later on if we go green.
Like I said, I've been saying it most broadcasts. I think if you could get clean air, it's so important. And you give, in my opinion, the best car on the long run clean air. It was like giving Kyle Larson clean air on Sunday. This car's going to be really hard to pass. So I think this is just got to execute now. This race is playing right into your hands. Execute here, and you might have a chance to win this race. Got to keep the tires under you here. As we're going back to green, Gilbert going to get a great restart here.
And that wheel spin that you get with the older tires, some of these guys experiencing that, and you see on the bottom with the 27 Orlando, contact for 3rd.
And these 2 guys on older tires doing a good job getting a good restart. Orlando going to lose a spot to further there. Now Lynn's battling the 41 of Erhardt here. That's going to be for the first car on 4 tires here. But for Gilbert, he's got a 2-car buffer here with guys on older tires. These guys, 66, 41, 45, 35, they got to get around the 27 and 39.
I think that was the 89 of Michael Call that was down on the apron.
Yeah.
Might have had some help there.
Oh, man. It got tight there off the corner there with Bennett maybe, and then he got loose, snapped up from under him there. Good save. Really good save. Oh, that's a hard hit there for Harrison. Oh no, 27. Orlando got turned, and he just came back up in the field. I think he got Fike, and he got another car. That's a shame.
That was a hard hit. We came right back to the live shot as it happened. The 27, the 45 got together, and Orlando not able to gather it back up. With a replay button getting a workout here tonight.
It sure is. And a lot of action, a lot of contact. This has been a full contact race, and what do they call it? The last great Coliseum. I mean, these boys are going at it. The Gladiators going at it here. Yeah, it just got loose in front of him, and not really on Harrison there. Oh man, just got fighting. Oh, that was Heath that got a big hit there. 26 got a good piece of it, and I think the 19 got a piece of it as well.
He's hit every incident here tonight.
No, it's not a good race for him. He got back on the lead lap, which is good, but more damage. That's just unfortunate.
Where do you go?
You can't. I mean, there's nowhere you can go, and that's just a heavy hit for the 15 of Keith. I mean, he's falls right in your lap there. Trevor Keith just destroyed, and I mean, I don't know how many cars have not been in an incident in this race. There has just been so many incidents. Even your leader, he's been involved in an incident.
Yeah.
I think maybe Carter Lins hasn't been in one. I don't think Erhardt or Harrison really, but Turner's been involved in one. I think Picklesheimer, I think he might not have been in one, but everybody else, I think, has really been in an incident.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see, Alec, if you could bring up the info there for the incident count. who has it, who doesn't. I know that they implemented a rule, and I'm not entirely sure with the Cup Series, but in the Truck Series, if you reach 17, there is a pass-through penalty. And we're seeing a lot of black flags show up here with Trevor Keith, Kevin Orlando, Jackson McGeorge, Christopher Schaefer. So I think maybe closed pit entry is the case here, but it could be a mandatory penalty to come down and let everybody by.
And no offense to him, but if Alex Berube doesn't have one for incident, I don't think he does, so he's good. So and it's not even his fault. They've just kind of, the wrecks have happened. He's gotten involved in them. I don't think he's even caused one. He's just gotten involved in all other people's messes. So if he doesn't have a penalty for incidents, then I think most of these guys have it for pit penalties.
Yeah.
So yeah. And this I mean, look at this running order, complete 180 from what it was on lap 100 in that first stage. Only a couple guys that were in the top 10 will still remain.
22 of Gilbert, 66 of Lenz, Tyler Harrison, Trevor Erhardt, John Fike. These cars on 4 fresh tires. You saw how quickly the guys that stayed out fell out of this top 3. Geico restart zone, green flag, lap 187. 11 cautions so far, and another great restart here for Travis Gilbert.
Not the restart Lenz one, but look at Harrison with the run of a lifetime up to second. And
He's to the inside.
He had a look there, but Harrison gets a little loose off of 2, but man, from 18th, from the front to the back, to the middle of the pack to the front, he's really making it work up to second, but now Lenz is back down to the bottom here and here comes Erhardt as well, right behind him, but Lenz back underneath Harrison here, and Harrison's going to have to fight hard for this position. This is everything that 22 of Gilbert wants to see.
Lenz up to second spot, and I said another pick there. Now I wonder if 2 tires was the call. If Lenz can get up to the back bumper, what can he do with it?
We'll see. I mean, you got to pull a Jeff Gordon on Rusty Wallace kind of move to get him out of the way. He's in the right car, right? And I guess Gilbert has a 2 on it, so that helps. Here is behind him.
A Penske 2 at that.
A Penske 2, exactly. A bumper to the back of the 45 there from the 41 of Erhardt. Harrison gets shuffled out of line and goes back to 3rd. Might lose another one to the 35 of Picklesmeyer.
Picklesheimer all over the back bumper into 1 and 2, and yeah, it's okay, Alec. I haven't butchered your name yet, so maybe I'll start.
How about Fike as well, who was involved in that last incident? Back up to the 6th place position, Grant Thorpe, up to 7th, and wow, Harrison is struggling. I think he's trying to save his tires, but my goodness, really, really slow here. He's going to be at about an 87 lap run here to the end on these tires, so don't need to save them as much in my opinion, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think now is the time to run that outside and try to save as much as you can, because when we get the other half of this run, if it stays green, the bottom's not going to work. You're going to have to force guys out of the way or wait for them to make a mistake. You've got to save as many positions as possible. That's the save that you want right now. As I think that was Flake that got loose.
He's in the inside wall, no caution though. The heavy damage is probably left front toe link broken.
Watch right here. Down on the bottom. He's going to come out of this exit, just snaps sideways.
Almost had it, and then it cooked again and got to the inside wall. Unfortunate. How about the 19 for Jay Berube up to 8th on the racetrack after the night he's had? This would be like a win as he's looking to work on Justice Murphy here for 7th.
Alex Forget never quitting as he goes down, or probably being involved in every incident in this race so far. I don't think there's a quarter panel on that machine that isn't beat up.
Doing a good job here. Look at the outside here of Murphy, who's also been involved in that, big wreck, and he's having a good rebound here. Going to fall back to 8th here as Forget Berube is going to get around him quick, and Harrison going to lose a spot to Thorpe up ahead.
So Grant Thorpe in the 77. He had some success there on Monday night as well. Got the runner-up position. Again, he was the guy on the other side there with the 39 of Turner. Just short of that victory at Atlanta.
Just short and battled for the lead. Lenz kind of running down this 22 on the bottom here for the 22 of Gilbert, and then he lands on the outside here. But Gilbert, I think, managing his stuff here. Lynn's trying to push him a little bit. Remember, 2 versus 4 tires here.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was asking is if Lynn's can get to the inside or outside of the 22 and he miscues on a defense, it's over.
If you want to get to the outside, that outside's so valuable to get to the outside, carry momentum. But Gilbert, it looks like struggling with a little bit of looseness off the corner and on throttle, but the 66 looks kind of more planted, obviously, with the fresher left sides. But we'll see how much, if the clean air is going to be able to, you know, hold that 66 back. And, you know, we'll see. 66 pushing here, and if he can just get to the outside and the 22 makes a mistake, I think that's going to be the key and the, you know, the golden ticket to him getting the lead.
The vet to track 22, battling PTSD, 1 lap at a time. Of course, we've got some other leagues, such as Goat Locker, that the 22 vet to track machine is a part of. Those guys sponsoring all over for Goat Locker and what they do. Save 22. Oh man, into the wall for Lenz, overdrove it.
Just overdrove it there and behind them. Oh, we got trouble. I believe Daniel Holloway and Michael Call are in it. Into turn number 3. And I believe McJordan, I don't think he's just coming down pit row, but that's another caution and another wrench into whether these guys pit or not.
Michael Call, 5 laps down, the 21 on the lead lap. Probably not too happy with it here. Let's see what happened. 21 got a little loose.
He's battling Fike on the outside. 65 on Fike up there. Wow, got the wall. And, wow.
He ran out of racetrack for Call.
He did.
There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, he kind of cleared up there, but, I mean, the 89, he's 5 laps down. Give him a little room, in my opinion, but
well,
I don't know.
Here's the thing. 21 did get a little loose, slid up the racetrack here if you watch.
Yeah, he did, and comes up. 89's there. Racing is there for sure, but again, I know Michael's racing, but you got to remember you're 5 laps down. These guys battling on the lead lap. As everybody coming down pit road again.
The other factor of it here is the 39 stays out. Travis Gilbert down pit road. Grant Turner going to try an audible. It didn't work out earlier. I don't think it's going to work again. We're talking about 23 laps on the stint.
Yeah, bold decision. Now let's see. Now the 22's put in a tough spot. Do you take 2 again and just ride out these left side tires, or do you take 4 and then does that raise the question maybe for Erhardt
somebody else
or Carter Lynn's to come in and take 2?
I think somebody else is going to do it.
Wow, did he just? Wow, he took 2
again?
Left sides.
Okay.
I don't know about that. He's going to have a severe handling imbalance. Like, really bad, I'd have to think. And looking at a lot of guys here coming out of pit road, some guys taking 2. Carter Lynn's took 2. But everybody else taking 4. I like that on Lynn's, but I am troubled by the decision of the 22 car. I think you're better off staying out, honestly. I don't know why you would take 2 left sides. I don't like that. You're going to be at a severe imbalance, at least in terms of tire pressure.
I could say with Trevor Erhardt, that's the call now. This is the pick that I'm going to switch to. The 66 is fast, but 4 tires. I like it.
Well, here's the thing for Erhardt. He's going to be on the outside right behind the leader. I think Gilbert is going to be plowing tight on the inside here, especially with only left sides. I don't know if he ran out of tires, which that's another factor because of his spin. He had to go down. He had to go down a set maybe, but I just don't like his left sides. I don't
know if you're seeing the chat here tonight, but Misfit Productions, $5 there in the chat. Appreciate that. And then Danish Cruises letting you know to hurry up so we can get back to Among Us. But green flag back underway. Grant Turner on the outside, and Trevor Erhardt makes work on the high line. I like 4 tires. Contact.
Gave a shot here to the 22 Gilbert. You can see Gilbert is struggling on the bottom lids. Gonna come up to the outside here. Yeah, Gilbert's struggling with just left side tires. He is sliding all around this racetrack. Here comes Lynn's to the outside. He gets the wall. And how about Turner holding these guys off here?
Excellent job here.
Gilbert is in the car now. He's just sliding way too much on the bottom. You can see him send it in, gets tight, and Lynn's might be in the best spot here. Here he comes around the outside. Gives a shot to Turner.
We're going to watch on board with the 39 and watch the handful that it's going to be here in the 1 and 2.
Oh, man.
22
Turner,
sideways.
Yeah, you can see, it looked like Lenz took the air off of the 22, and he just went straight into the corner, and here comes Erhardt on the bottom in the 41. Picklesheimer on the outside battling with Thorpe, and how about the 19, Berube, closing back up, and here comes Lenz to the bottom.
Battle for first, a battle for third.
Oh,
Contact.
Man, Lenz came right up, little contact. Turner fighting with everything he's got. Remember, Lenz on 2 tires again, more contact down the backstretch.
We've got no tires for Grant Turner. 26 lap old tires that he stayed out on. He's going to brush the wall, and he's still defending the lead.
He sure is. Now Lenz goes back down to the bottom. They're going to almost make contact. Gilbert back up in line. Surprised that that car's still going. It's Alves
Caution is
turning
out.
around the backstretch. Alves into the inside wall, and now we're going to re-rack him and restack him, and Turner's still the leader.
I think Grant Turner's trying to be one of the first drivers to do the Truck Series and the Cup Series in 1 week.
A sweep.
That's difficult.
Sure is. Take a look here, battling with Justice Murphy in the 12 car.
It's going to get a little loose right.
Oh, maybe a little
Contact.
love tap as well, and did a full 360 around. Not too much damage, but obviously the tires are going to be damaged more than anything. And both of them just really battling there. And
I almost did it right there.
You know, I'm surprised by this now, but looks like the 22's coming back down pit lane. I just cannot think that tire strategy was going to work. And 22's going to go to the back here and probably forfeit his chance to win.
And I think at this point, he's going to decide amongst right sides for his last tire set, if I'm correct.
Possibly, I think he has a full set left of left side because he just used his 4th set.
I would take all 4 this time.
You might as well take all 4 this time. Again, I understand the call, but I don't understand the left sides. I just think that was a bad choice. Honestly, you run out of right sides, you run out of right side tires. So the left sides, it's just too much of a imbalance to the handling. And I saw it right there. He is just sliding everywhere, way too tight. It's a 4-wheel slide with left side fresh tires, worn out right sides. But now that makes Carter Lenz's life a little bit easier, but you cannot count out Erhardt, you cannot count out Picklesheimer.
I don't know if you notice here, Alec, but we have complete cloud cover on this racetrack now. Temperature has come down about another 5 degrees. We were somewhere around 92, now down to 87. And that
really
might be helping some of these guys on older tires.
Up 39 if you can keep it clean air here. And how about the 19 for Jay Berube? If he can somehow win this race.
Add a third one to the column for everything he's been through right now. Top
Yeah,
5 probably
win.
feel like a win.
I thought just getting on a lead lap and getting to the top 10 was a win, but now he's got a legitimate shot at winning this race. But Turner's going to be fighting for his life because he's got a lot of green flag laps here. But clean air, track position, you can keep it. You're going to win this race, but he's got to hold off this 66 and maybe even the 35 and 41 here.
Well, we haven't done it yet tonight. Let's go ahead and find those volume knobs and take it on the restart here with Grant Turner.
Trouble, look at that! 41 Erhardt got turned by Turner! Saw that going into one, it looked like they made contact and both of them go up in the outside wall. And Erhardt's night was looking so good. Could have had a chance on 4 tires, and he got turned by the 35. And that moves Picklesmeyer and Thorpe up a little bit. See what happened. These guys battling here for second.
Is it the 39 or the 35 here?
That's a good question. It looked like the 39. Oh, they just kind of meet together. I don't think he got turned by. I mean, it's wrong word terminology there, but I just think he was there. 41 kind of came up, and they met in the same space, and 41 got hooked into him and back up the track, and that's a shame there. And that's going to kill 2 guys at a top 5, and that moves. How about Grant Thorpe, the nights he's had? He's up to 3rd, and John Fike, who's been involved in some incidents, he's gonna come in. Okay, all right, that's the decision. All right, and that moves Berube up to 4th.
Up to another spot.
Yeah, and Gilbert comes up a couple spots. I just think Berube's car is a little bit too damaged to win this race, but if things fall his way, who knows with anything that's been happening tonight.
I gotta say, Alec, we were counting him out there halfway through this race for even being in contention to finish on the lead laps. So this guy's capable. I don't know. I wouldn't count anything out.
I gotta think there's a reason why he's won 2 races this season. It's gotta have grit, and that's what. Sometimes these are the days that really help, get you some confidence in yourself that, hey, I can overcome adversity and go out and, I know it's a long season. You're already in the playoffs, so keep getting wins, keep racking up those playoff points, and, win some stages, and then, get ready once those playoffs start. And I think this year I want to say it's at 1.5 miles or something. I really don't know the Cup schedule that late into the season, but I just think this is just a great building day nonetheless for the 19 team. But if you could somehow steal a win, I mean, you're going to be looking good. But I think we talk about the top 3. These guys have not won a race this season, so good chance to go out. Sorry, the playoffs start at Darlington this year, so you never know.
It's looking really good right now. If you're Carter Lenz, he's got right side tires. Dylan Picklesheimer in the 35 with 4 fresh ones. You go all the way back to Tyler Harrison, who's worked his way back into the top 10. Caleb Gilbert, Justice Murphy. A lot of names in here that haven't won this season, all in the top 10. Then you have Forget Berube looking for his 3rd this season. Lap 230, 21 to go.
A little restart for Lenz and for Berube. Gonna get it to 2nd here. Picklesheimer gonna have to fight him off here. Justice Murphy, Tyler Harrison, and how about Caleb Gilbert on the bottom battling with Thorpe? Berube, can he somehow steal a win here tonight with the car that's ready for the dumpster?
It's looking that way. He's got a good drive off here on the exit of turn 2, and he is within a couple tenths now to the outside. I think the suspension's still holding up. It's just aero damage maybe for the 19.
Yeah. Aero damage and dirty air is not the way to go here as they still battle for 3rd. How about Murphy in the 12 car shooting up here by the 77 of Thorpe. Harrison going high line and Hanson going by. And arriving on the scene again, Travis Gilbert back up to at least 7th, maybe gonna get 6th here down the back as Harrison catches the wall off the 2. Now Gilbert shoots down to the bottom for 6th.
We were talking about the 4 tires and what the 22 has been able to do all night long. He did it earlier in this race after getting back on the lead lap. He drove up through this field, got to the top 10. This time around, it's less cars in front of him as we only had 17 cars on the lead lap. Harrison feels the pressure into the back of Murphy.
Here comes Gilbert to the bottom here, gonna look for 5th. Take a little contact down the back stretch, and now Harrison will fight back around the outside. Gilbert just can't seem to keep momentum on the inside, clips the apron, loses that spot in the 12, and Murphy holds on to 4th as he's feeling immense pressure with no pack bumper from Tyler Harrison, and now Berube under a little pressure from Picklesheimer.
Now 14 laps to go here from Bristol. Week number 8 of the Chapman Cup Series. Pass on the outside for the 35. Wide out on the wall.
Picklesheimer's going to get by. Harrison leads the bumper back to Murphy again. Now Berube might fall to the clutches of Murphy and Harrison and Gilbert, or the Gilberts, as well as the 77 to Thorpe. Berube might need to get up to the outside. He just can't. And now Murphy gets a little sideways on the outside, and here comes Harrison right behind him.
Gonna try to follow on the outside line around Berube. 45 way up next to the wall, follows the 12 of Murphy, now peeks to the inside, has the 22, has to check up.
You gave him a shot there, can't do it. Murphy up to third, holding it off hard, everybody trying to hold it out. Here comes Harrison shooting down to the bottom, seeing if he can get by the 12. Can't do it. Now Gilbert gonna get to his outside.
That was a mistake there for the 45.
Yeah. Costing him a position, and I think Gilbert might be able to get around 12 of Murphy, make no contact there in the 3. Murphy doing a good job.
Teammates.
Are they?
Maybe, I don't know. They got Penske numbers. I can't confirm or deny, but they are racing each other hard.
Well, they're racing each other like Penske teammates, because here comes the 22, Joe Logano and Brian Blaney technically, but here comes the bottom, Gilbert, who's really just had the best car, or one of the best cars all day, shoots down to the bottom, trying to clear the 12 of Murphy, can't do it, this time turns under, Murphy powers back on the outside, this time Gilbert might be able to do a slider.
It's actually lightning fast motorsports versus the 22. Well, that is racing for freedom. So 2 different teams as the 12 gets cleared by the 22. Linz out to a massive lead.
Hey, you were right. He was your pick in that 2-tire call. Best call he's going to make, maybe all, or could be one of the best calls he makes all season, because he's looking to punch his ticket into the playoffs. Going to have to navigate through some lap traffic, but they're getting out of the way. And I think that's the 89.
Oh, trouble in the back.
Oh, no. And that's Fike around. Thorpe's in it. And Fike gets nailed by Diaz and Likens. And Turner piles in. And Orlando and I think the 21 of Holloway got a piece. And a big wreck. And it ain't over yet for Carter Linz.
And Morgan Cook got a shot after that from the 39 of Turner.
My goodness. Never come easy, and I think he's going to have to worry about Gilbert here as well as Linz. Take a look. Diaz and Cook battling.
This is where it starts.
Thorpe gets into the wall, and Fike gets around. Alves gets into him, and then Fike's just in the middle of the racetrack. And Likens gets a piece. Diaz gets a piece. Cook gets nailed by Turner, who gets a piece. And then Fike just gets thrown down in front of Holloway and Orlando. That takes all of them out. But
this is the view you have at the banking is so you can't see. So if you're wondering why that happens, you don't see it until you're out right in front of you.
Tough to see it. It's kind of sitting high in the car. I like to sit a little bit lower so you can see a little bit more.
Maybe back it up. I don't use it very often. Here's the actual cockpit camera.
Yeah.
But you really don't see it.
It's still hard. Bristol, the banking's so high. I mean, the last camera one I think he had, I know somebody that races basically looking at the roll bar on the top. But
wow. They like to see the hood, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But you know what? I got to say, Carter Linz doing a good job. Picklesheimer doing a great job. And, I've been somehow, some way, I got to give Travis Gilbert. He's been back and forth. I counted him out. It was naysaying about him that he bad call, but still, nonetheless, he's still getting up through the front and still in the third. Has a shot to win. If you're Carter Linz, though, you've got to pin Gilbert behind Picklesheimer here. Pin him on the bottom. Do not give him access to your bumper and starting behind him.
Yeah, you don't want to see what you saw earlier with the 22. Where he made quick work on the restart. We're getting close to that choose cone here.
Oh, man, that's...
We're in overtime. At Bristol?
At Bristol? Come on. That's a normal thing here at Bristol.
Yeah.
At least it leads you to.
Not the first time I've said that.
We'll see. Now, Linz, you got to get a jump. Get away from Gilbert. Do not allow him to get next to you or get to your bumper. Pull away 2 laps. That's 30 seconds of racing.
Got to get to that white flag presented by Erhardt Homes. But until we make it to that moment, it is not official. Green, white checkers. We have 2 of them here tonight. We're going to use our first one As these drivers come out of turn 4, the cloud cover is back. Pinch up on the restart. Carter Lynn's green flag back underway. 2 laps to go.
Great job there from Lynn's. Can he get ahead? Gilbert going to clear Picklesheimer, but now he's got a full length here to get to him. He's got 1 lap. Can Gilbert do it?
Can he do it? It's a good question. White flag, 1 lap to go. Presented by Erhardt Holmes, and Carter Lynn's looks like he's gonna do it. And race number 8, ascend to the inside, not gonna be enough. And the 66 is gonna take it in week number 8.
Great job, great call from Carter Lynn's, and what a race, what a win for him, and a great comeback for a lot of guys. Travis Gilbert, man, oh man, what a great race from him. And Dylan Picklesheimer gets up to 3rd, but man, Carter Lynn's doing a good job, was always up there. And when the right things fell, he got up in front, got the clean air, and good win and a good-looking scheme.
Little congratulations from Tyler Harrison, who got a top 5 out of this. And it was chaos back there. But Lynn's, I know this one feels better. He had put a lot of practice in Dakota. And when you go to a racetrack and put that much time into a race and you're going to compete with the road course ringer of the season, Jeremy Burns, and you have a connection issue at the last second where you can't grid onto the track, his internet completely went down. And now a redemption tonight on the front stretch, burning it down with the 66.
I sure did a good job, and man, what a great run for him, and wow, just a good win. And now he's in the playoffs. It's all fun from here.
Well, now it's a matter of let's go find Carter Lynn's. We have our post-race interview with our winner here, very top. I know this is a little bit backwards from what you're used to here, Alec, but we pulled that winner up immediately.
Let's get him in here.
Hey, it's Alec Martinez and Bradley Cooper up in the broadcast booth. Carter Lynn's, do you got a copy?
Oh, right here.
Oh, buddy, this is a redemption from Coda, is it not?
Oh, this is a dream come true right here. After that absolute nightmare of a week, not being able to participate in that, and then come back a couple weeks later and then finish on top here. Oh, it's a relief.
We go back to the beginning of this race. You had looked at the stage 1, your car kind of in and out of the top 10 to start this thing off. You started up on the front, but then the different strategies kind of evolved as this race went down, and you fell further behind, and then you took that gamble. 2 tires, made some gambles on staying out, did kind of the opposite of some of these other guys tonight, and it paid off.
Yeah, no, I saw once Travis, I saw him. Oh my God, he's an incredible racer. Once I saw he went in, took 2, he got out in front of everyone. I knew I had a chance. I took 4, turned around. He took lefts coming in the next time. I took rights. I knew I had the fresher set of tires overall. And I knew Grant, after his little announcement during the middle of the race, he was all out of tires. I just had to keep it clean. That's all I had to do to make it to the end.
Yeah, and it was just a matter of, we had 5 sets here tonight available, just trying not to use them at the wrong time. The strategy with the cautions and how this race kept evolving and changing. We even had a stint there that everyone kind of found out their long run speed. And it looked like maybe long run pace, the 66 ends up in the top 5, but everything cards-wise fell in your way.
Yeah, no, I knew I had front row speed tonight. Luckily, even though huge respect to Rob, Jeremy, after I saw what happened to them, that helped my game. I knew if there wasn't anything bad going to happen to them, I probably was barely going to squeak a podium tonight, but yeah, no, like you said, everything kind of just laid out perfectly, and I was able to come home first.
You finally get the redemption. You punch your ticket into the playoffs. You find yourself here on week 8, just before we go on Easter break. Got to feel pretty good here, Carter.
Oh, yeah, this is... I was nervous going into the season after having a couple internet issues, being gone for a week. Just having bad week after bad week. Then, had a podium finish at Phoenix. This puts the cherry on top. It's incredible just for this feeling.
31 laps led for the 66 machine, and the Jeff Gordon throwback scheme on that machine. I know a lot of people have been in the chat and supported you and talked about your racecraft and what you've put together this season. Go ahead and shout some of those guys out.
Oh, shout out to V Speed, you guys every week. Amazing broadcast. Racing Revolution, all the sponsors, Chapman. You know, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you all the admins for letting me be here. My family, I know everyone's watching. My phone has been going nonstop. Hi everyone. My girlfriend upstairs, she's watching. Hello, Sarah. Oh no, it's been a pleasure tonight.
Well, and just before we let you go, good mind there to know that you can drive it into victory lane at this place. There's not very many tracks that we can do that on iRacing, and I'm watching you pull up into victory lane right now. Congratulations again here, Carter. And we look forward to seeing you at Talladega in just 2 weeks' time.
Yep. Hopefully I can get to see you guys again in 2 weeks.
So there you go. 66 car punches his ticket into the playoffs and becomes victorious. Actually, burns it down in victory lane as well. Yeah.
Not too bad.
You never see that too often. So that's definitely the call there. And you were talking about 2 tires, Alec. You thought it would be the 22, but it still was the right call. The 66 gets it done.
Yeah, 2 tires, just so important here. Get clean air, get some track position. I just think that was going to be the winning move, and it turned out to be. And well, how about we move up to the 22 here, who was part of that 2 tire?
Just a moment here. We're going to take a quick break while we round up those final race results. We do have to take a quick little hiatus here and drive some of those stats and make sure everything's accurate. But you are going to see some post-race coverage after that victory lane celebration with Carter Lenz. We're going to move on with Travis Gilbert and Dylan Picklesheimer. Post-race coverage continues on V-Speed right after this.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
And welcome back here to the Bristol Motor Speedway. At the conclusion of the Hinkle Homes 250. Let's take a look at our finishing results after a wild and crazy Bristol Motor Speedway race here. 60 cautions, 10 lead changes, and Robert Rader was our Stage 1 winner. And victorious after all the chaos that had happened was Carter Lins in the 66 after taking 2 tires. And behind him, Travis Gilbert up and down day, but comes home in second. Dylan Pickles-Simer was third. Tyler Harrison was fourth. Caleb Gilbert was fifth, with Trevor Erhardt sixth. Justice Murphy was seventh. Nick Alves was eighth. Then Michael Bennett comes home ninth. And Jeremy Burns, after a good rebound after being involved in an early incident, rounds out the top 10.
Alex Forget Berube thought he was going to get a top 5 out of this, but he gets 11th. It could have been a lot worse. That guy was a lap down. He was 4 laps down. I mean, he was back and forth all night. Kevin Orlando Jr. gets 12th. Daniel Holloway is going to get 13th position, with Grant Turner falling back to 14th. Matt Robinson 15th. B-Speed's very own Morgan Cook. Tough day for him, but 1 lap down, 16th spot. John Fike 17th. Michael Call and 18th. Grant Thorpe in the 77, a black flag with a penalty here for the 19th spot. Kyle Diaz rounds out your top 20.
Then 21st was Jackson McGeorge in the 98th, and Al Likens was 22nd. Joya comes home 23rd. Trevor Keith comes home 24th. Robert Rader comes home in 25th after winning stage 1. Christopher Schaefer was 26th. Parker Johnston 27th. Brandon Richardson was 28th. The 5 of Jacob Sarkovich was 29th. Then Michael Reed was 30th. And then pole sitter Dakota Floyd had an up and down day and really didn't even get to compete in stage 1. He was going to come home in 31st. Then Kyle Stewart 32nd. Justin Ritchie was 33rd. And rounding out the 34-car field tonight was Chris Nail.
All three of those drivers' teammates there from 31st to 33rd.
That is not a good team night if you're the team owner or, part of that team. But they'll rebound to a track that's going to require some teammate works at Bristol, at Talladega in 2 weeks' time. And how about we go over to pit road to our second place finisher, Travis Gilbert from the 22. Travis, Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the V-Speed booth, buddy. You got a copy?
I do, Alec. How you doing?
We're doing good, man. Good to hear you, Travis. And up and down day all night, really. I mean, going to the back, to the front, then up to the back, taking 2 left sides to the back and to the front, coming home second. What more did you maybe need to get ahead of Carter or maybe get to him?
With that win in my pocket, I played a little bit of strategy and just wanted to do something different. So I decided to take left sides after I took right sides to get in front of Jeremy and Rob. And then luckily for me, that worked out because they ended up getting involved in a wreck and I avoided that. So that was, I felt like I had a better car than they did. It's so dang hard to pass here. So once I figured if I could get in front of them, I'd be good. Then the cautions came out in a weird spot to where the right sides wore just enough that when I took left sides, when I fired off, if I'd have been the leader, I could have had clean air, and the right that left side strategy would have worked for me. But with Grant being on my outside, I didn't have right front to clear him, so that put me in dirty air. And then a caution came out again. I think I was third, so I hung a left and went down pit road and got 4 fresh tires and said, well, let's go on attack and see what we can make of it. What I needed was I got hung up behind Justice, Michael, Bennett, and them. Like I just needed to get clear of them sooner and not use up my right front trying to wait for them to pass each other and throwing it in the high side and then over braking, just not sure where to go because they were side by side. And so it's just congrats to Carter. He played the right strategy. I just didn't get through traffic with them 4 fresh tires soon enough to get to capitalize on them, to take advantage of it.
I mean, yeah, nonetheless, a great comeback back and forth. And, I thought you had the best car long run, and I think you definitely proved that. But good run here, off week, obviously, for Easter, and then coming back in 2 weeks' time to Talladega. How do you feel about going out there to Talladega and seeing what you can do here and working with the teammates?
I think Racing for Freedom has a really good super speedway team. I think we win stages, we lead laps, we put ourselves in a good pit strategy. I think hopefully we get some other super teams that want to work with us. We're not exactly a super team ourselves over at Racing for Freedom. However, we are starting to integrate some other people into our practice sessions and into our race strategy, like Dylan Picklesheimer and Al Likens. We really appreciate them coming over last night and giving us some people to work with. So I know I work with them in my super speedway league that it just ended on Tuesdays. Al and Dylan are really, really good. Grant Turner, he has a way of playing strategy to put himself in position. So hopefully we can get, 8, 10 cars to work with us and have some teammates to go along with John, Kyle, and B Rich, ourselves. If we can get a couple more cars that wanna work with us, I think we have a really good shot at putting one of us into victory lane in 2 weeks from now.
Absolutely. Hey, well, we appreciate your time, Travis, and a good run. Anybody you want to give a shout out to here before we let you go?
Yeah, I usually don't do a good job of getting all the Racing Revolution sponsors in, so I'll make sure to do that this time. The Chapman Cup Series, is sponsored by the Chapman Environmental Series, so we appreciate them. Erhardt Homes, Coastal Financial, we appreciate Buttkicker. They've been sponsoring, which has been Rob, who's had to give these butt kickers away because he's 4 times. So appreciate them for continuing supporting the league and giving us an opportunity to race for prizes and to get good broadcast. Appreciate you guys at V Speed. You guys do a great job. You, Bradley, whoever comes in and fills in, you guys are awesome. It was Morgan last year. You guys always put on a good broadcast. So appreciate you guys. All the admins, they do a good job. I ran them down last week. They know who they are. Vet to Track, Jim Whittam, they're out there chasing around the Moto America Racing Series. They're having fun, trying to get veterans out of the PTSD, out of that everyday norm where we're losing 22 of them. That's why I drive the 22. So sucks that we couldn't go back to back. However, I'll take a second place finish and rep the vet to track. And Terry, Tweet, my mom, my nephews, Tristan, Branson, Lucas, my niece Amelia, my son Bliss, my daughter Tora, and I think that's about it. I appreciate everybody. I hope that I'm getting better at including everybody into the interviews and showing gratitude and appreciation for everything.
I definitely think you did a good job, Travis. Well, we appreciate your time, man. Congratulations on the second place finish, and of course, a great cause for your car and what you're doing. So appreciate you, buddy, and look forward to talking to you here soon and seeing you in 2 weeks out of Talladega.
Thank you, Alec and Bradley. You guys are doing a great job in the booth. Can't wait to go and look at the broadcast and appreciate you guys. See you in 2 weeks. Happy Easter.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Happy Easter as well, man. We'll talk to you later. That's Travis Gilbert, second place finisher, and Bradley. Oh, we talked to Dylan Picklesheimer for third place finisher.
Yeah, we're going to pull up the 35 with a podium here. And Dylan Picklesheimer, I think this is the first time this season we've had you up in the V-Speed booth. 35 car, put it in the right spot at the right time. Started in fourth. You had the qualifying effort, but it was a little more than that. It wasn't just qualifying. There was 250 laps here tonight and then some. We had to add on 2 more. You had a difficult day. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, man. Started out with a good qualifying lap and just kind of ran top 15 the rest of the race. I missed every wreck I think I could. I only had a 4X. Just kind of got through the mess and should have finished second, but that caution came out. But I'll take third because I've never finished top 3 in this league, never even finished top 5. So career day out here, and I'm grateful, man. That was fun. I love this track.
When we go back to the first stage of this race, you said put it up there in the front 2 rows. You get up front in the top 5, and then that reality moment of the restart where everybody's choosing a different line, trying to stay in clean air. Does it get a little bit overwhelming here at Bristol? I think I compared it to shoes in the dryer by the end of this thing, but does it get a little bit overwhelming seeing everybody chase each other around this place?
Oh, it for sure does. I was telling the guys in Discord, I'm scared. Like every time we went green, it was just it's just nerve wracking. These guys are so good, and I know I belong here, but I don't really run top 5 much, So it's kind of just getting the respect from the drivers and trying not to cause chaos. That's all we can do at Bristol, and I feel like I did pretty good tonight. And I was happy. Carter took the bottom because that probably guaranteed me a top 3 because I was able to start on the top. And you you just wanted to be on the top on these restarts. It worked pretty much all night. And I'm glad I got it done.
Dill Picklesheimer, you find yourself on the podium here. This is going to help you out tremendously in the points as well as we wrap up here with the bye week. We're going to Talladega next race, and that'll be 2 weeks' time. What's your strategy there? Maybe a win around the corner for the 35?
Just depends on how it goes. I mean, I got a good set of teammates over at BOE, and Talladega's always been one of my favorites. I mean, I might drive over my head sometimes, but I feel like I can do it if we get the right guys. And I love Talladega, so I don't see why we couldn't at least back it up with another podium, at least a top 5, if it goes right. So we'll just wait and see and go from there.
Best of enemies driver number 35, Dylan Picklesheimer. Anybody you got to shout out while we have you in the broadcast booth at Bristol?
First and foremost, I'd like to shout out Travis Gilbert. He hopped. We got in a practice lobby last night, and he kind of taught me how to get around here and gave me some lessons. And I really want to thank him because without that, I don't think I'd be right here where I am right now. And I want to thank my teammates, BOE, Al Likens, Grant Turner, Chris Schaefer. I want to thank you guys because y'all are great. I love watching these broadcasts, man. They're really good. And I want to thank my fiance, my mom and dad, and then last but not least, I want to thank the admins because I love this league, man. I'm glad to be here, and it's been a good season so far, and I hope to keep it up.
Well, the best V-Speed advice I'll ever give you is thank the fiance first next time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I should have started there, but we'll learn next time.
It's okay. Hey, everybody's made that mistake at some point here in the broadcast booth, and everybody's called it out and talked about it over the season as well, so I think it was Grant Thorpe that called it out last week that he didn't do it first. So just a little friendly advice. No, great job. Excellent interview, Dylan. We look forward to seeing you 2 weeks' time. And hopefully this helps propel that 35 car to some more success.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Dylan Picklesheimer in the 35. Third place here at Bristol. Well, Alec, I got to say, it was a good week for you to come around. You were thanking me, but I thank you for filling in here for Alex Gagnon here tonight.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having me and getting me in here, Bradley. This is a great series that I got to witness here, and definitely be tuned in for a lot of these races this season, and looking forward to having Alex back in the booth, I'm sure, at Talladega. But man, what a good race, good season, good race here tonight. Just a lot of crazy things, and if you think this is crazy, wait until Talladega. Talladega is going to be wild and crazy. So everybody that watch, man, I highly recommend you tune into Talladega because that is going to be a heck of a race to watch.
This is Talladega on April 30th, week number 9. We've got 2 weeks here before we hit the next broadcast for the Chapman Cup Series. If you enjoyed tonight's action, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button to V-Speed. And everybody that supported Misfit Productions, we appreciate that. Everyone that's a part of the Pit Pass and the Pit Party here on V-Speed, and everyone that helps put it together, thank you very, very much. Without you guys, it doesn't justify what we do. And 5 years running now, solid for me. Alec Martinez, I know you've been around a little bit longer than I have. I think you're going on 6 years here at V-Speed. It's been a long time, man, and we continue to grow. We continue to support these leagues, and they support us. And everybody out there viewing, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. From Adam Baker, Alec Martinez, this is Bradley Cooper saying so long from Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll see you 2 weeks' time at Talladega in Lincoln, Alabama. Until then, stay tracking, everybody.